In 1 year in my real estate sales business, I did over $28 million in sales volume, and 100% of those leads came to me through organic social media. And I tell you that just to get your attention so that you will listen to me as I give you the full step-by-step beginner's guide to maximizing your lead gen efforts on social media with lead magnets. Now, before you click away, because you've probably heard about lead magnets before, you may even have a buyer's guide or seller's guide that you use in your business, and those definitely have a time and place where they are super, super valuable. But what I want to talk about here today is understanding how to really make truly valuable lead magnets that people actually want. Because the reality is those buyer's guides, it can be a great asset to give to people who are already interested in working with you to sort of guide them through the process. But at the end of the day, there is so much of that information already circulating around on the internet for free. And so there's not as much intrigue or appeal to actually download it because it's just really generic. The other thing about that is it doesn't give you any more information about this particular client. And so instead, by creating these lead magnets that are super strategic and truly get you that much closer to an ideal conversation with an ideal client, you're giving yourself a lot more insight into where they might be in the process and truly how much of an ideal client they are. So I'm going to break this down for you very simply, but before I dive into it, down in the description of this video, you will find my complete step-by-step guide to creating lead magnets that people actually want to download, okay? So if you want this all in a written and super explained version, I even threw in a couple of lead magnet templates so you can use those. They're just free Canva templates. All of that is going to be down below in the description of this video. So be sure to check that out and then come right back up here so that we can dive right into this step-by-step guide. All right, first thing is first, you have to determine who it is that you're trying to speak to. So this, in a lot of cases, is called finding a niche. Now, that doesn't mean this has to be the only people that you work with in your real estate business, but in terms of creating a lead magnet, you want to think about what are the kind of people that I want to specifically attract right now. So let's just go with the example of, you really want to work with potential buyers who are probably in their early to mid 30s, who are either just about to get married or have just gotten married, and they're looking to kind of lay down their roots a little bit with their newlywed husband or wife, and that's kind of your demo that you're trying to reach out for. Perfect. Now you're clear on the type of person that you're trying to attract. So make sure to write that out. And it's okay to have a few of them. Again, this isn't going to pigeonhole you in that one niche forever, but it's super important when creating a lead magnet. Again, just to point out why our buyer's guides don't do as well is because that's a super generic concept. Even if you took your buyer's guide content and catered it a little bit more to say, people who are freshly out of college who want to make their first real estate investment within the next 3 years or something like that. It could still be a lot of the same content from your buyer's guide, but you critique it a little bit and you twist it to make it a bit more specific to a certain demographic of people. And now all of a sudden it gets your consumer thinking, oh my gosh, that agent, that person knows me very well. They know exactly what I need. B, it's a lot more intriguing because they're wondering, well, what's in that that's unique to me in my situation, right? And so now we're able to help them and be a lot more specific with our follow-up. So step one was you're getting super clear on who that niche is, and you're going to write that out. Step two is I want you to think about what are some of the main attraction points? What are some of the main pain points? What are some of those things that they might be thinking about or desiring in that season of their life? So again, if we're going to run with the example here of a newlywed couple or someone who's close to getting married, maybe one of their concerns or their thoughts is, okay, well, we're going to get married in the next year, but we also want to buy a house. So how can we effectively budget for both? Is there a way that we can map out our finances to have the wedding that we want and have enough money to purchase our house? Maybe that's one. Or maybe you create a guide that is like the perfect registry list for when you get married to stock your brand new house that you're going to purchase with your husband or wife, right? And so start kind of just writing out what some of those questions might be, some of those concerns might be, some of those pain points. And a hint here is if these are the type of people that you've worked with already, you probably have a pretty good idea of what some of their objections might be, what some of their concerns might be. So this shouldn't be too challenging, but just throw everything that comes to your mind down onto paper or a Google Doc. Step number 3 is we're going to actually come up with what this lead magnet is. Now, guides are always a great one, but I would encourage you to maximize the value here, because if there's one thing I've learned about getting people to truly opt into something, it's like the more value you can layer on, the more likely you are to get people to opt into it. So that's not to say that something like a guide or a checklist on its own won't do well. Those still work very well and it'll convert tons of people for you. But just imagine creating an offer that people would literally feel stupid for saying no to. You want to create something that is like so appealing to someone that they're thinking, I literally cannot scroll past this and not download this because there's so much value there. I'm almost mind blown. Okay, so I will encourage you to keep that in mind, but again, don't overthink that too much. The whole point here is that we're going to get something up and going quickly. So I want you to start thinking about what your lead magnet is going to be. So again, a guide is always a great place to start. You can do a checklist. You can do a planner or workbook. You can do a masterclass or mini series or mini course that could just be a series of say 3 or 4 videos of you explaining a topic or a concept. It could be templates. It can be a consultation, a webinar. There are so many different formats for what you can utilize. One of the things that I strongly recommend to you is to do the format of a lead magnet, so a guide or checklist, plus a little mini course or video that dives a little bit deeper into that specific topic. So an example of that might be if I'm going to do, let's just say, a credit boosting workbook. And inside of this has some written content about the importance of a good credit score. And it also has some step-by-step kind of workbook pages that they can fill in to boost their own credit score to track their progress. I might also include just a quick video of myself walking through how your credit score can impact your buying power and why certain things affect your credit score more than other things. And you see how I could make that into either a little series of short videos, or I could put it all into one video. And now there's something that's just a little bit deeper and it's a little bit more meat and potatoes for people that want to dive in. Bonus point here too, if you set this up so that you can accurately track if somebody watched the video, that's another really great indicator for you that, oh, that's probably a much warmer lead, because not only did they download it, but they also watched the video. That's going to tell you that that's probably someone you should reach out to ASAP with some serious follow-up efforts, because chances are they are more ready than ever to take some action. So as soon as you've decided on what your actual lead magnet format is going to be, now it's time to create it. So again, make sure to download that guide I put down for you in the description, because it does give you a ton of tools for creating your lead magnet content. Of course, you can take the time to write it all out yourself, but let's just be honest, in today's day and age, we want to save time, we want to be efficient, and why the heck not? You have so many tools at your fingertips. So you can, of course, use our good trusty friend ChatGPT, though I will say this, when using ChatGPT, it's super important that you use the right prompts. So again, in that guide, I have some copy and paste prompts that you can use to get the best possible responses that don't sound super kind of robotic and just like templated. I would recommend using that. And then I would still go through it yourself and add in some of your own pizzazz. And of course, also make sure that all of the information is accurate, because I've never had a problem with it, but it's super important to just make sure that you're not putting anything out there that you don't feel confident that you stand behind. So do a once over, add a little bit of your own personality, make sure it kind of sounds like it's coming from you. And then of course, verify that the information that you're providing is accurate. That is very important. Another alternative is you can use a platform like Upwork to pay somebody to create all this for you. Or you can go onto Etsy, and a lot of times there are done for you kind of pre-created either templates or already completely done lead magnets that you can either purchase and use as is, or purchase and again, tweak it and customize it a bit to match your branding, to match your style. Now we get into the fun stuff, and that is to drive traffic to your lead magnet. See, here's another big piece that a lot of people mess up on is they spend the time to create an incredible lead magnet. And then it's just sitting in some PDF file on your computer, not getting any leads. It's just collecting virtual dust sitting in your Google Drive. So let's throw that idea away and get back into actually generating leads. My number one favorite way to do this is through organic social media. And one of the best tools that you have at your fingertips right now is Instagram Reels. Instagram Reels, though they can be frustrating at times because we're always playing with that Instagram algorithm, it is so incredibly powerful. And I assure you, if you commit to writing and creating and putting out some very simple reels, I'm talking like 3 to 5, maybe 10-second long reels. You don't have to have professional production. You don't have to have anything crazy. You could literally film a quick little clip and put an image over it of your lead magnet with a call to action, and people are going to comment and they're going to start opting into it. Now, I will say this, some of you might get an instant hit of people that are commenting and wanting your lead magnet, and others of you, it might take a little bit of time to really grow that momentum. It does depend, I guess, where you're starting with social media and if you've posted much like this before. If this is your first type of content of that style, then it might take posting a few different times before you start to catch a little bit of tailwind. But if you can commit over the next, say, 30 days to at least doing 1 or 3 reels per week that talk about your specific lead magnet and have a clear call to action, I promise you, you are going to start getting people that are jumping for that lead magnet, and you can now turn those leads into true real estate conversations, which, as we all know, that opens the door, no pun intended, to more deals. So there are lots of little tweaks and intricacies to make this work even better. I've included all of those secrets in the guide that is down in the description, so be sure that you grab that before you leave this video. And if you have any questions or want some feedback on your own lead magnet, drop those comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.